Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Good Thursday afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here live for our 2 p.m. First Alert weather live stream. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. As always, you can catch us on our Facebook and YouTube channels at WNEM TV5 News on Roku and Apple TVs, and also head over to our website, WNEM.com/livestream. I want to thank everyone again for joining me. We'll be taking a look at some rain chances through this afternoon, and then and then the updated drought monitor that came out this morning had some big updates across the region. So stick around for that. That'll be a little bit later in the stream. Quickly just taking care of some things on the sort of technical side that are trying to fight me just a little bit here. So I'm sorry for the little bit of a wait, but we'll get that taken care of right now. If you have any questions, you can head over to our Facebook page at WNEM TV5 News. I'll try to answer those questions. I do apologize if I miss your questions. Sometimes we just have things going on behind the scenes that I may not look over there. If you do see it, though, I'll try to answer it to the best of my abilities. We start off looking outside. This is downtown Flint, where you're seeing pretty nice conditions. Sunny skies. Really blue skies off there in the distance if you just look right above our look outside screen there. It's looking to be a pretty nice day out there. Then we move out to US 10, our camera there showing just, again, clear skies, just some light cloud cover off in the distance. We'll continue to see increasing clouds into this afternoon. That's with the help of, again, some rain chances a little bit later in the day. Then a little bit farther north, Holton Lake, also some more clouds there. Again, this will be an area that could see rain first. Roscommon County may already be seeing some rain as we get into this afternoon. And actually, we look at Sky Tracker here. If it will load for me, everything's trying to fight us just a little bit here on this Thursday. But we take a look at Sky Tracker. What we see is there is some light rain trying to form to the far north. Ogama, Roscommon, Clare counties are definitely seeing a few isolated cells develop. So if you're in those areas and you're seeing some light rain, don't be surprised by that. Deborah, good afternoon to you as well. I think we'll be keeping an eye, though, up to the north here over the next couple of hours to see how well this sort of area of rain that we do have just to the sort of south of Manistee, how it travels here over the next couple of hours and what direction it really tries to travel. It may end up missing us just a bit to the west if it continues on its track. I think the next question will be, how does the development look as we get over the next couple of hours in areas to our north that we're seeing that isolated development right now? How well does that come together? And again, this is all associated with a cold front that is moving from the north to the south through really the rest of our afternoon into this evening. It's a very slow moving cold front. So that may end up bringing us a light drizzle through the night into tomorrow morning. So don't be surprised if we see some fog in the morning, but you also see some very, very light rain. We've had a few Fridays and Thursdays over the last month to 2 months that you wake up, it's pretty overcast, and you just get that sort of mist falling from the sky. I think we'll have a chance of that tomorrow morning. So we do get some moisture. I don't think it's obviously going to be enough to impact our drought monitor because, again, we do have drought. We'll have updates on that in just a little bit. Now, temperatures across the board have gotten up into the mid to upper 80s. This was the biggest question for today outside of that rain chance was how warm do our temperatures get? Because some models were suggesting that we get some cloud cover earlier in the day. And if you get that cloud cover earlier in the day, you do end up seeing cooler temperatures. Now, we do get some 60s in our shoreline cities north and south of the bay, and then on the eastern side of the thumb, where you have Port Hope at 67, Harbor Beach at 68, and Port Sanilac at 65. It's those mid and upper 80s out to the west where you've had a little bit more sunshine today, just a little bit more time to warm up. 87 in Mount Pleasant, 87 in Clare. You have Saginaw at 84 in Flint, also at 84. Dew points also on the, I would say, the stickier side compared to what we're used to through the mid sort of weeks of September. You're looking at dew points mid 60s in some areas. So you're definitely feeling that moisture in the air. This is just being sort of pushed in with a mixture of that cold front and then just some transportation of a moisture into the region. So if it is feeling a little bit sticky out there for you, don't be surprised by that. Again, seeing dew points upper 50s into the lower 60s. In terms of winds, they have stayed calm today. They're mostly out of the north-northeast at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Should remain on the calmer side even with this cold front moving through. It is a weaker cold front, so it's nothing major in terms of winds. They will pick up just a little bit tonight into tomorrow, so that'll be something that may impact Friday night lights just a tad bit. I know some of those kickers probably not looking for stronger winds. We had that 2 weeks ago. Last week was actually pretty nice, and then this week obviously windy once again. And speaking of winds, for the rest of the day, you may see a wind gust up to 20 miles per hour, but a majority of our afternoon into our evening and overnight hours, you're going to see winds at most up to 15 miles per hour. The direction of winds is going to stay pretty similar throughout the rest of or at least through the next 12 hours. It's going to be winds out of the north-northeast. Our peak winds for the next 12 hours should be right around 5 to 6 p.m. That's really when we see that cold front introduce itself to the region here today. Now, I got to quickly take a break. Once we come back from that break, I am going to be taking a look at the drought monitor. I know that's a pretty big thing. A lot of people have been talking about it. There was some big changes today. Have some information about that we'll go over in just about a minute, so stay right here. Well, welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here, and we're starting off on our drought monitor. Again, the drought monitor updates every Thursday. I do want to say this, though, before. They do update this drought monitor in a pretty vague look. It's not based on one city or another. It's sort of a wide look across the state. So I know that we've had some people that have said, hey, my grass has been pretty wet. How am I in the drought? Just because you've been lucky, not everyone else has been lucky. Also, you may be watering your grass, other areas are not. So when we look at this, remember, it's a very wide view across the state. When we look at mid-Michigan, what we have now seen is the severe drought has expanded quite a lot. If you remember last week, that severe drought was really just in Bay, Midland, and Saginaw counties. It is now expanded out to Isabella, Clare, Gratiot, into Tuscola and Saginaw counties, and into Huron County. One thing you also notice if you look at this map is almost every county in the TV5 viewing area is included in some category of either dry / pre-drought or drought. So Roscommon and Ogama counties, actually, you were in the clear last week in that update. This week, you're now in the abnormally dry / pre-drought stages. Other areas, southern Saginaw, most of Shiawassee County and northwest Genesee County, those areas were also in the good last week. You now are in the abnormally dry. We just had a long period of dry conditions over the last 30 days. Since the start of the year, we're about 2/3 short of our normal precipitation. So even though things actually improved during April, June, March, really right through the mid-year, things have not improved as we've gotten through the end of the summer into the start of fall. But I also want to highlight this. This isn't the worst drought we've ever seen in Michigan. Obviously, this time last year, we were in pretty severe drought. Actually, Bay County, 97% Bay County was in severe drought at this time last year. 45% of the state last year at this time into October was in severe drought. We haven't gotten to those levels yet, but we really don't see that heavy of rain. We'll see how Monday sets up. That could be a good day to help some areas out, but there's still some question marks with the models not agreeing for the start of next week. Another time we've had very severe drought was in March of 2003. 50% of the state was in severe drought. There was none of the state that had no drought. So this isn't the worst drought we've ever seen, but it's getting there where you start to get, we don't see much rain today, at least rain that's going to help us sort of beat the drought. And then even next week now, it's going to be helpful rain. It's not going to be helpful enough, though, in some of these areas to really fight that drought, especially severe drought, where some of those areas do need maybe 4 or 5 plus inches of rain over a few days to help get them out. I think we just need to look at the outlook for the winter months. Hopefully we can get some snow. That snow will melt. And then as we head into next year, you'll start to sort of break down that drought and we can sort of get a good reset. And I will highlight this. Every country in the state, at least the lower 48, except North Dakota, have some kind of drought or pre-drought condition. So it's not just us. But we look at the state right now, if you live in Bad Axe to Bay City, Midland, Saginaw, out to the 127 corridor of Mount Pleasant, you are seeing that severe drought. Grand Rapids is now included in that severe drought. Let me see if I can zoom us out here, and we can just look at almost all of the state. So yeah, here's a broad look at the state. Detroit is still in the abnormally dry or pre-drought stage, as we call it. Again, it's those western portions of Grand Rapids, west to Lake Michigan, that now see that severe drought. And again, if we don't get a good rain here over the next couple of weeks, this may continue to expand. And again, I will say there have been outlooks through the end of the month that we could be drier. Outside of that rain chance Monday, Tuesday, chances continue to be small. Now, it's hard to forecast that far out, but we can give an idea of what we'll see as we get through the end of September into October. So hopefully we can get some rain, but for now, much of the lower peninsula is continuing or starting to see pre-drought or moderate to severe drought build here in this latest update. So it wasn't really what we wanted to see. I don't think it was hard to predict, though, that we would see some increase in our drought as we got through the next few updates, just because we haven't really had rain over the last 30 days. And then we just zoom out. Again, I wanted to show that almost every state has some form of drought. It's only North Dakota that doesn't have anything right now. Areas like Minnesota, you're just sitting in that pre-drought right now. Now, we're going to move into pollen. This is something we just keep updating as we get through the day because I know it does impact people's life. You don't want to have those allergies. And as we look at today's pollen levels, dust and dander continues to stay in that high rating, ragweed sitting in that moderate rating. So definitely something to keep an eye on if you're someone that has allergies. Tree mold and grass pollens are still on the lower end of things. That'll be something that will update every day here on our 2 p.m. stream, Monday through Friday, and a few times on the weekend. Now, let's take a look at Friday Night Lights forecast because we're getting closer to that. Tomorrow, lots of games going on. Looks to be a pretty nice day. You're going to see temperatures at kickoff at 7 p.m. in the lower 60s, staying in the 60s through about mid-game. By the end of our Friday Night Lights, temperatures in the upper 50s. Winds again out of the northeast at 10 to 15. Definitely could see some gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Then we head into the weekend. A few college games going on. Thomas More Saints are traveling into Northwood to play, obviously, Northwood University. Kickoff at noon there. Looks to be a pretty nice day. Do battle some cloud cover on and off throughout much of our game. Temperatures into the 60s. By the end of that game here in Northwood and Midland, sitting in the 70s. Then Central Michigan, they have their first home game of the season versus Wagner, an FCS opponent. Kickoff at 1 p.m. Temperatures should be into the lower 70s. Again, we'll be dealing with some cloud cover, but should be dry. So a nice day to get out there to Central Michigan, watch the Chippewas take on Wagner at Kelly Short Stadium. A southeast wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Obviously, Michigan State, they're on the West Coast playing USC. That kickoffs at 11 p.m. I know there's been some angry people about that kickoff time. And then Michigan is versing Nebraska in a pretty big game this weekend for them to sort of judge where they're at in the Big Ten. I know Nebraska's also looking to sort of judge themselves to see where they're at with some younger talent as well. Now, we move into our lows for tonight. Temperatures into the upper 50s, even with that cold front moving through. Temperatures continue to stay a little bit warmer. You do get a few lower 50s in there. I think we see these lower nights, or these warmer nights, I should say, continue through the weekend into next week. So if you're someone that's been looking for 40s through the night, so maybe you can open the windows and maybe catch a breeze, you still should be able to do that, but it is still on the warmer side compared to where we should be at this time of year. I do also want to highlight we could see some fog tomorrow. This is our visibility map for Friday morning. This is starting at 2 a.m. We do see there's some patchy fog. I don't think it's going to be as widespread as what we had earlier this week, but it's just enough that if you are driving, especially through southern Saginaw, Shiawassee, and Genesee counties, you may have to slow down, take some precautions on the road because there will be reduced visibility, possibly to a mile or less. Then as we head to Friday morning, also showing, or 7 a.m. continuing to show reduced visibility, especially for our southern counties. Obviously, will burn off into the afternoon. And then Saturday morning, we also may get a few very isolated areas of fog. Again, doesn't look to be that widespread, but I think it's enough you notice. Highs for Friday, they're showing us a little bit cooler. Again, we have this cold front moving through tonight / this afternoon. It is going to bring a little bit cooler air. It's going to bring us back into those upper 60s and lower 70s. But again, it's nothing long term. We're back into the 80s and 70s, upper 70s for this weekend. It looks like a streak of 70s into next week. So if you're someone that's looking for fall-like weather, I know there was a few people that I talked to over the previous few weeks that were like, we enjoy this. 60s, it's feeling like fall. Then we've had this warm up as we've really gotten to the heart of September. Looking at winds for the next couple of days, again, that cold front could bring wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour, but nothing really too extreme and nothing long term. Through the night into tomorrow morning, winds stay relatively calm, up to 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then as we head into, well, we just skipped Friday. Let me go back to Friday here. Friday, again, will definitely be a windier day than what we had today. It's wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour, mostly through the northeast. May pick up just a little bit through 6 and 7 p.m. So right as you're getting out for your Friday night lights. And then as we head into Saturday, just a little bit breezy in the morning, wind gusts out of the south-southeast at right around 5 to maybe 25 miles per hour. Seeing some wind gusts in Huron and Sanilac County up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. Now, as we enter your weekend, Saturday again shows temperatures don't really stay that cool. Yes, we are in the lower 70s. Yes, we're closer to average for this time of year. But there are a few areas, especially as you move to the south-southwest, that you start to see those upper 70s. Mount Pleasant, 77, Midland at 77, Bay City and Saginaw at 77 and 75. Then as you move to the south, you get Owasso at 78, Flint at 77. So those areas will be above average for tomorrow. And then continuing to see a warming trend as we get through Sunday, Monday. We'll see by the mid next week, could be mid to lower 70s, so closer to average for this time of year. I do also want to highlight, if you're someone that doesn't like humidity, you may not like Sunday into Monday. There's actually some signal that we actually might see some moisture transport into the region, and that will bring our dew points back into maybe the mid 60s. So definitely feeling humid as we get through Sunday and Monday afternoon. Again, we have some rain chances those days, at least late Sunday into Monday. So that may be what we're seeing influence our dew points rising a little bit. So you may get outside. It may be sort of that rainy, sticky feeling out there, what you get with some of those showers and thunderstorms. And I think we will have a chance for some showers and thunderstorms late Sunday into Monday. Now, hour by hour, again, continues to show those isolated showers through mid-Michigan through about 6 to 7 p.m. So if you have any high school sports, obviously soccer's going on this time of year. We have some other sports that are going on, JV football games. Just be prepared. You may catch a quick shower through this afternoon into this evening. It shouldn't ruin your day. May make things, though, just a little wet at times, especially if you get a downpour. Then as we get through the night, we're dry. Cloud cover does increase into tomorrow morning and will continue to be something we see through a majority of Friday morning. By the afternoon, that cloud cover does leave us and will be dry for Friday evening into Saturday morning. Just get a mix of sun and clouds in through Saturday. Now, 7-day forecast that continues to show us 80s for today, 70s for tomorrow and Saturday. You will get those 80s on Sunday, and then as we get into Monday, that first day of fall, you do have chances of rain. That will start late Sunday. So again, if we need to keep an eye on Sunday into Monday. If those can be consistent rains and maybe more long-term, like all of Sunday night into Monday, that may end up helping some areas fight that drought that we continue to see grow, especially on this morning's drought monitor update. So with that, got nothing else here. Don't see any questions over on our Facebook chat. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. As always, you can check us out on our Facebook and YouTube channels at WNEM TV5 News. You can head over to our website at WNEM.com. If you go over to WNEM.com/livestream, you can catch more of our streams and more of our content there. You can also watch us on Roku and Apple TVs. You can scan this QR code right below me, actually, and that will download the First Alert Weather Storm Team app, and that will keep you up to date. We always try to update that throughout the day. If we see big changes, including in our rain chance for Monday into Tuesday, obviously we'll update you there. But I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your Thursday. Hopefully we can get some light rain today, but can still enjoy the rest of our day, and then hopefully everyone can enjoy your weekend. So again, I want to thank everyone for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday.
Thank you for joining us. Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.